Hi, everybody. I wanted to talk today a little bit more about autumn and some of the blessings that comes with autumn, which is really about transitioning seasons and death. So we don't talk about this often enough, but the blessing of death, that death is something that is actually here to make our lives more 3D. When we don't have an ending, when something is endless, we don't cherish it. We don't have gratitude for it all the time. When something has an ending to it, it creates a circular formation. It allows us to know that there's a beginning and then there's also an ending. So that must mean that there's a journey in between. There's a point between that I'm here to enjoy, to cherish, to treasure, to let myself become sensory and to move with it slowly and really, really present myself in it, to allow myself to be enwrapped in that experience. So when we have death and dying, we know that we have the winter every year. We know that somewhere along the way there's our own death, but we don't bring that into our psychology that that's actually happening all the time. Every year we're having deaths, tiny deaths, little deaths. You might have an end of your favorite show, but you also might have an end of a way of thinking. You might have an end of a habit. You might have an end of a relationship. Things are constantly dying. Our cells, as you might know, our cells have a lifespan of 7 years. So who you were 7 years ago doesn't exist anymore in this body. Without an ending, we don't have a journey. Without an ending, we don't have an experience that really allows us to move through something. So, by allowing us psychologically to know that everything has an ending, including ourselves, it puffs up our gratitude. When you look outside right now, wherever you are in the world, I don't know how fall or autumn shows up in your point of the world, but when you look outside and you notice that things are changing, things are moving, maybe the birds are what are different here. The world is knowing that there's an ending. So the world is adjusting to that ending. We're not running away from the ending and we're not having anxiety around the ending, but rather we're seeping in what we can still get while we have that time. If we were to only look at endlessness as something worthy enough to commit to or not to commit to, then we would end up losing out on a lot of value because nothing lasts forever. And if we really want to only have things that last forever, we will only buy plastic. Okay. Plastic lasts forever. Produce doesn't last forever. But you can tell that lasting forever has nothing to do with the quality of what it is that you're getting. So, actually, when you're allowing that in, when you're allowing death in, decay in, when you know that that's a natural part of life and that's part of your life too, and part of your relationships too, you're going to go for quality. You're always going to go for quality. You're going to go for depth. Some of that depth and quality happens through commitment, but it doesn't go through the endlessness. Having a relationship that's going to last forever doesn't exist because one of you is going to pass away first. So when you look at your loved ones, just having this thought, this relationship isn't going to last forever. And that's not the point. If the point was for it to last forever, I would not enter into any relationships. I wouldn't have children. I wouldn't adopt pets. God, no, I would never adopt a pet. That's a walking death sentence right there. I would never commit to anything because nothing's going to last forever. But when I know that this is actually the point of being here is to deepen the depth of my heart and to widen my sensory experiences, to have the most vast experiences as possible and the deepest depth of feeling and experience as possible as well, I would never think of time as the thing that would get me to enter into it or not. You might want a life partner who will be for you till death, but know that there's still death there as well. And you want to go through the dying process with them. And you want to organize and adjust your lives that you can die in a way that's beautiful for yourself and for them. And it will be painful, but beautiful. Because again, pain and beauty are not something that cancel each other out. So, to live this beautiful life, we have to involve death and decay into it as well. We cannot avoid it, we can't cut it out. If we're only looking for positivity, if we're only looking for spring and summer, we would end up having a plastic life, one that doesn't let us meet ourselves in the depth of where our hearts can go. So, that is my thought to you. Just thinking for a moment of all the beautiful things that you have in your life, your friendships, your relationships, your connections, and then also the connection to yourself, because your body won't last forever, your mind won't last forever. How will that start shifting how you live today? Knowing that there's an ending and you have time, but knowing that that ending is there, how would you like to live more beautifully today? Anyways, hope that met you somewhere beautiful and deep. And I'm wishing everybody a wonderful week. Bye, loves.